YouTube, Coda here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So lately, Crystal Chan and I have been chatting on Facebook, and last night we had a discussion about some things we've been noticing going on in the fashion and the communities we're involved in, and it got to the point where we were just really upset and annoyed, and we decided we're going to do a collaboration video. I'm going to portray my opinions and fixes to issues I'm seeing, and she's going to portray hers in another video, which I will link in the description when she does make that video. With that said, today I'm not sure if many of you are going to agree with me on what I'm talking about, or you may not see it, but I'm going to talk about this anyway because it's my opinion and these things really bug me. With that said, about a year ago, a little more than that, when I was getting ready to purchase my first dress for Lolita Fashion, which was Time of Blue Sky by White Moon, as I showed in my 100 subscriber question-y video. I had a friend who was also getting into the fashion. She had gotten one dress by Bodyline, which was the carousel print, and she had gotten herself a petticoat. But beyond that, she wasn't really in the fashion yet, like full-on making cords either. So we were both on like the same playing field. But we would look at Baby the Starshine Bright, Alice and the Pirates, Angelic Pretty, and Bodyline when we had lunch. Just goofing off in the library looking at really expensive frilly clothing. And for a while I thought those were the only brands. But when I did more research myself, when I went home and I was thinking to myself, you know what, I really want to wear Lolita to prom. This is something I really want to do and get myself into the fashion that I've been wanting to get into for so long since I read Vampire Doll. So, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And so I was looking online and I realized Baby and Angelic Pretty weren't really a fit for me to start with. I didn't really want to wear those dresses to prom, and I didn't want to break my parents' bank account over a prom dress. So I started looking into alternatives, which is when I discovered Taobao resellers like Cutie Land, Cloba Online, and My Lolita Dress. Now, when I got to that point, I ended up seeing a bunch of negative things about My Lolita Dress, which I have addressed in my whatismylolitadress.com video. But I kept digging and I realized that those nasty comments were complete bogus, and they were just people that obviously hadn't shopped with them before and had a negative idea on what Taobao resellers and what Taobao brands were. So I went and I decided to get my thing anyway, which ended up being much cheaper actually than what it would have been if I shopped with Cutie Land. It would have been like 100 and something, and I got it for 92. So good job, My Lolita Dress. And the dress is so beautiful. White Moon is one of my favorite Taobao brands. And I decided, hey, I got my dress. I want to show my friend the dress I got. So the next day, I went out, like when we were at lunch, I showed my friend. I was like, hey, check out the dress I got. And she was like, who's it by? And I was like, White Moon. She's like, oh, that's a replica. That's Ida. Don't be Ida, Dakota. And it just hurt. I got called Ida for buying something that wasn't the godly few, which is a term I'm going to continue using now. I realized godly few is a perfect definition for big, recognized brands, like Angelic Pretty, Baby the Starshine Bright, Meta, Madi, all of those. I got insulted for buying something that wasn't by the godly few. And the person didn't even look at the dress. They were just like, oh, that's a name I don't recognize, therefore it can't be a real thing. And that hurt, and I decided I wasn't going to talk about any indie brands I found ever with that person again. And I ended up not talking with that person. I mentioned them before in other videos because I talk to them, they're nice. But I won't talk about Lolita with them because if it's not Angelic Pretty, to this person, it's not Lolita. And as you guys know, I own Angelic Pretty as well as numerous other brands. Baby the Starshine Bright, Alice and the Pirates, Chess Story, Infanta, White Moon. I own, I think, a well-rounded Lolita wardrobe. And I don't buy my stuff just because of the name on the label, which is something I'm going to be talking about in my Lolita Problems video. So I'm not really going to touch base on that part of this issue. That's going to be dealt with in a different video, which I will link below when I post that video. But what's going on here? And over the year, I grew as a Lolita, purchasing stuff from all different places because it's what I liked. It was what I wanted to wear. It had a cut I liked, it had a colorway I liked, the print just really stood out to me. Whatever the reason, I bought it because I liked it. And I don't think I'm popular on Tumblr, and I don't think I'm popular on YouTube, but I noticed a trend when I was starting to watch videos on YouTube about Lolita fashion and starting to follow more Lolitas on Tumblr and getting more well-versed in the popular Lolitas in our fashion. And I noticed a trend that's really unfortunate. A lot of the big Lolitas only wear the godly few. And in their videos, when they discuss about beginner stuff, there's little to no explanation of how to work Taobao, use a shopping service, or even what a reseller is. I watched a recent beginner video that talked about nothing about resellers, and when I brought it up to the person, they kind of just blew me off. Honestly, they took one of the things I said and then went away with it, and even said that indie brands are poor quality. I'm going to refrain from saying what that Lolita's name is, but that in and of itself really disturbed me because it reminded me of what happened when I was just getting into fashion and I went to buy my first thing, and it wasn't like a round of applause, oh my god, you got a dress. It was a, oh my god, you're Ida because you're wearing something that's from a place I don't know. And that's a problem. Which brings me to another story. Recently, one of the things that Crystal Chan and I were talking about, she brought this up to me. I saw it when it happened just for a moment, but she knew a lot more about the situation than I did. And it was on this little Facebook group thing that we were both on where you post pictures of your coordinates. I'm going to refrain from saying what that group's name is for reasons, but I've only been in the group for maybe a few weeks now. I've posted a few stuff here and there, Sometimes it's like my phone blows up because I get a bunch of like likes on my stuff, and it's like, whoa, Buckaroo, it's just closing. It's like, you need to chill out. But other times I get nothing, and that's fine. I don't really mind. But what I really like about the group is that you can scroll down and you can see all the different styles and other things Lolitas are wearing. And that's so cool because it's kind of like a group without being in a group. You know, like, it's not like I go to meetups with these people, but I get to see their outfits. And a lot of popular Lolitas post their coordinates on there, which is really, really fun. I like seeing their stuff when they post it, instead of having to wait for it to be reblogged and on my dashboard on Tumblr. That's the thing. The popular Lolitas on the Facebook group are the ones that get all the attention. Because they're popular. But also because they're wearing the godly few. And it's sad because I see some really ornate coordinates from newbie Lolitas, Lolitas that made their own stuff, Lolitas that wear indie brands that I'm interested in. And I really like their coordinates, but it seems like nobody cares. Because it's not Angelic Pretty, or Baby, or Maudie, or Meta, or Alice and the Pirates, and it's just... I sit there and I wonder, why is this girl that has the same amount of coordinating skills, if not more than this popular Lolita, not getting any attention? And sometimes those ones actually get really mean negative feedback. Which brings me to the story I was going to talk about. A few days ago, this one girl posted a coordinate. I didn't particularly favor it, but I thought it was interesting that she made it herself. It was like this safari print, and it was green, it had like zebras and stuff on it. And I thought that was like an interesting idea, like to run with for Lolita. But people just hounded her about it. She asked for critiques, you know, for how to, like, what they thought and what can make the garment better. And people just hounded her that it was ugly, that Safari wasn't Lolita, and just all this other negative stuff that is not a critique. A critique is, look, maybe you shouldn't have made the cut of the waist so tiny in comparison to the actual length of the skirt because you couldn't lift it up as well with a petticoat. Maybe you should try wearing it with this type of petticoat, or maybe add some lace here. That could give this effect. It may be interesting. Maybe you should try that. Those are critiques, not that that's ugly, that's not Lolita. And it got to the point where the girl took her post down. And one thing about this group is they say bullying is not tolerated. Well, obviously it is tolerated because this poor girl posted a thing and asked for critiques, and she got bullied to the point where she had to take her post down because it was handmade. That's what it comes down to. Because it was handmade, people felt the need to hate on it. Because if it's a brand and you cord it badly, that's fine because it's brand. But if it's handmade and you're not so sure about how to coordinate it, you're terrible, you're horrible, get out of the fashion. And I want to take a moment here and just defend her garment for a second, okay? Some of the things they were saying was that Safari isn't Lolita. Well, shit. Metamorphose does animal prints and animal stuff all the time. People wear those animal safari prints. Those prints sell. So what's the difference between a girl independently making her own garment in a style that she likes and a big brand selling it for $300? What's the difference there? If it's the same looking thing, it's the same style, and they both should be accepted in the fashion, okay? So saying Safari is not Lolita, but then also supporting a brand who makes stuff in that style is very freaking hypocritical. And you need to back off. Your issue is then not because it's Safari, but because a girl made it. She didn't buy it. It's not by some big brand. That's just really distressing, okay? I'm not sure if this is getting coherent at this point, but the amount of hate and negative feedback I see on this Facebook page, where it's supposed to be like a nice happy environment where you congratulate people on the amazing freaking coordinates they make, or give them like critiques on how to maybe tweak it for next time, has turned into a rift between you're absolutely fabulous because you're wearing Angelic Pretty and you're a scumbag because you're not wearing Angelic Pretty. Now, I've gone on a lot about this issue, and this is the point where I'm going to just discuss how I think this can be fixed. And in this part, I'm speaking about popular Lolitas, and really anyone who's involved in a Lolita community, or someone when they see these things happening. These are things that you can do. You don't have to be Princess Peachy to be a good role model, okay? Princess Peachy is a fabulous role model. I think at this point she's one of the big goddesses of Lolita fashion. But you don't have to be Peachy to help fix these issues. Okay? Step 1. When you see someone hating on someone because their coordinate is not by Angelic Pretty, or they made it themselves, you call that shit out and you let the person bullying the other person know that that is not okay. Bullying persists when people don't say anything and they let it slide and they think someone else is going to deal with it. No, this issue has gone on for so long. We cannot stand on the sidelines and see new girls being hated on because they want to wear something that they made, or they want to wear something that fits them. They want to wear something that's cheaper. Whatever the reason is, we cannot let those new girls get hated on. We cannot let any veterans get hated on either, okay? Everyone needs to be protected here. And I cannot stress how important it is for new girls getting into fashion to be put into a positive environment. In an environment that's positive towards off-brand, indie brands, self-made stuff. Step 2. Stop calling brands like Infanta, Chess Story, Magic Tea Party, White Moon, Taobao brands. We only call them Taobao brands because you can find them on Taobao. We don't call Angelic Pretty Internet Lolita. We don't call it web brand, okay? Because it's located on the internet. You should call brands like Infanta, Infanta. When you're talking to somebody, don't say, oh, it's by an indie brand, it's by a Taobao brand. Say, it's by Infanta. That helps spread the word about that brand, for one, but then it also breaks down that barrier that there's even a slight difference between Angelic Pretty and Infanta. As someone who owns things both by Infanta and Angelic Pretty, they are on par with quality. I don't want to hear any veteran Lolita tell me differently, because as someone who owns garments by Angelic Pretty and Infanta, Chess Story, Magic Tea Party, the quality is no different. The price tag is the only difference. Also, sometimes where that garment is made. But that shouldn't matter. What matters here is quality, and as someone who wears a lot of different brands, I'm going to let you know they're the same. I don't want to hear shit from any big Lolita trying to tell me that Infanta is crap. Okay? And when you see people calling that stuff out, if you own indie brand, correct them immediately. All that's doing is spreading the stigma about indie brands. I'm using that term right now and it really bugs me, but I feel like that's a term right now I need to use. So let me correct myself. When you see people talking shit about Infanta, White Moon, or whatever brand you really like, and you know the quality, and you've seen it side by side with any of the godly few, call that shit out. Call that shit out. Take a picture of your thing with the other one. Show that they're basically the same quality. Do a rundown if you need to. Just prove that person wrong, because they are so wrong, and most of the time the people that say the quality is different are people that do not shop from small brands. Step 3. This one involves really everyone, but in my opinion, I think it's going to end up starting with, and it's really going to depend on what the big popular Lolitas do. Everyone knows Princess Peachy. And if you don't know Princess Peachy, please go watch her videos. She is phenomenal. She's known throughout the community as the cheap Lolita, as she shops from Bodyline. She buys replicas and stuff, and she makes them look freaking fabulous, okay? She's Princess Peachy. Recently, though, if you've seen her new video, she did get her dream dress, which is by Angelic Pretty. And I think she got really scared in her video, because she had to clarify that she's not becoming a brand whore because she's buying Angelic Pretty, and she had to clarify that you don't need to buy brand to be a Lolita. But I think Princess Peachy is a prime example of what popular Lolitas should do. Like, popular Lolitas that have a good following, a good fan base, they need to introduce these smaller brands to the people that watch their videos. They need, even if they don't necessarily wear them, maybe try out a few garments or something from them. Just spread the word. And like PJ, she wears basically everything. Let's be honest, there's Bodyline, replicas, and now Angelic Pretty. I'm so happy for her. She got her dream dress, and it looks super cute on her. And that's what big popular Lolitas need to do. They need to show there is no difference between a Bodyline garment and Angelic Pretty garment. They need to show that you can do just as awesome coordinates with a Bodyline JSK as you could an Angelic Pretty JSK. And if that doesn't make sense, I'll rephrase it here. Okay, when popular Lolitas start wearing Chest Story, Magic Tea Party, and don't care about the label that's on the back of their dress, their followers are going to start noticing that, and it's going to start melting that barrier between the godly few and the rest of everybody else who makes stuff for Lolita fashion. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start doing that. For all means, go for it. I want to see more girls wearing Chest Story. I want to see more girls wearing Fanta. White Moon, please. I want to see so many nice coordinates of White Moon stuff. I see it never. I don't know anybody who wears White Moon. And these are things that when more people start doing it, we will be funding these smaller, unrecognized brands. And that means more awesome stuff from these small, unrecognized brands. And it'll get to the point where those small brands that nobody knew about in 2014 will become just as big of a thing as Angelic Pretty. I mean, let's think back to when Lolita fashion was just becoming a thing. The 80s, the 90s. Baby the Starshine Bright was a very small boutique. Angelic Pretty wasn't even called Angelic Pretty. And Milk was really popular. They weren't as well known as they are now. They were known for doing stuff that was different and pioneering the fashion. And that's really what made them popular, was that people were getting interested in what they were doing, and they started wearing their stuff. It wasn't because of the name Angelic Pretty or Baby the Starshine Bright that made them popular and made girls wear their stuff. It was because those girls liked what they were selling. So now we have these smaller brands that are situated on Taobao that sell just as awesome stuff, but they're sitting here really unnoticed for the most part because everyone's really infatuated with the big boys, the godly few. And that's sad, because if these brands were around in the 80s and 90s, people would love them just as much now as they do in Jelly Pretty. The only way we can change the issues we're seeing in Lolita fashion, the only way we can change and stop the bullying and stop the continuous hatred towards self-made stuff, is if we, the Lolitas in the fashion now, do something about it. Call that stuff out. Make the necessary changes. Show the newer girls that are getting into the fashion that it's okay. If you're a big girl and you can't fit into a Jelly Pretty, go ahead and buy that replica. Go ahead and buy Infanta, Chest Story, whatever you want. If you're just a girl that doesn't really like the price tag of Angelic Pretty, Baby the Starshine Bright, go ahead. Have a field day on Bodyline. Have a field day with Infanta and Chest Story. Go for it. Do whatever you like. Because you'll be a princess either way. You'll look awesome. You don't have to wear the big brands to be awesome. And wearing a big popular brand does not make you a god. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this video, guys. I'm so tired of seeing the stuff going on the internet. I'm so tired of it. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a very lovely day, and if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to comment down below, message me on my Tumblr, whatever you feel like communicating me on. That's cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it got you thinking about some things. Maybe it opened your eyes to why you think certain ways about Lolita clothing. Or maybe you've called someone Eda in the past, now you're regretting it. Whatever it is, feel free to comment down below or message me about it. I'm cool. I probably shouldn't do this. This is offensive in France. I'm sorry for my offensive hand gestures. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. And I will be linking down below Crystal Chan's video so you guys can see her opinions. Maybe she's not so dramatic. Maybe her video is shorter. Who knows? Either way, I hope you enjoyed this collaboration we're working on, and maybe there'll be more in the future. See ya!